Don't you ever feel like screaming at the top of your lungs for no reason, in the middle of a crowded place, and people stare at you like you're from outer space? And don't you ever feel like dreaming, trying to grab something when you can't quite reach it, but you know that if you work a little harder, you might be able to get it if you stretch a little farther? And don't you ever feel like taking a risk, even if it really doesn't make any sense? How will you ever know what you're capable of if you don't step outside of your box and make an attempt? And don't you ever feel so overwhelmed, send out an SOS but won't no one help, feeling lonely and all by yourself, wanna hide and never climb outside of your shell? But then these days you feel quite the opposite, far from a pessimist, more like an optimist. You love the grind and the feeling of accomplishment, your light shines and you beam with such confidence. Don't you ever get the urge to want to open doors and see what lies behind the ones that were closed before? Don't you ever want to change what you're going for? And don't you ever get the feeling that there's so much more? Yeah, so dare to explore and challenge yourself to reach heights you've never seen before. Go ahead, touch the sky. Life is much too short. Don't ever settle for less. If you want it, the world can be yours. Yeah.
Don't you ever feel like moving away to a place where they don't know your name or face? Leave everything behind but your one suitcase, take what you love and the rest replace. And don't you ever feel like starting from scratch, erase every mistake you made in the past, slow life down when it's moving too fast, change your direction, avoid the crash. And don't you ever feel like taking a leap, don't you feel trapped inside of someone unique, caught in the same routine every week, feeling like your life is so incomplete? So don't you ever feel like breaking the mold, trying something new and letting go of the old? Take a different path and not the same old road. You gotta take a risk if you plan to grow.
Yeah, so dare to explore and challenge yourself to reach heights you've never seen before. Go ahead, touch the sky. Life is much too short. Don't ever settle for less. If you want it, the world can be yours.
Yo, the world can be yours. Everyone's got a gift, but what you gonna do with it? Everyone's got a gift, but what you gonna do with it? Everyone's got a gift, but what you gonna do with it? Everyone's got a gift, but what you gonna do with it? I don't want the whole world, just a piece of it. I don't want the whole thing, you can keep it. I don't wanna try to carry the weight, give me 3 wishes. Be patient and wait for me to decide. I got dreams, but most of them will push it aside. Don't push me off the edge unless you're sure I can fly. But if you're so sure, how come I can't see the same potential in myself when I look at the man in the mirror and I feel so inferior, insecure cause my security was shattered when I answered the call and stood face to face with the truth. There's no way to return to the days of my youth. Only a coward runs away and escapes from reality. A coward backs down when the situation is challenging. So the power of love will define my courage when I seek your face and find my purpose.
Yeah, so dare to explore and challenge yourself to reach heights you've never seen before. Go ahead, touch the sky. Life is much too short. Don't ever settle for less. If you want it, the world can be yours.
Everyone's got a gift, but what you gonna do with it?
At some point everybody's gonna fail, but will you give in or refuse to quit?
And everyone's got dreams, but what you gonna do with yours?
Don't you ever feel like, I said, don't you ever feel like, yeah, want so much more. I want so much more. Don't you want so much more? Yeah, so dare to explore and challenge yourself to reach heights you've never seen before. Go ahead, touch the sky. Life is much too short. Don't ever settle for less. If you want it, the world can be yours.